a player we did that with, Javonte Williams. A lot of times he was kind of left for dead before the season. He was bad in Denver. And I was like, hey, who knows what this backfield looks like? There's 3 options there, but Javonte's come in and kind of taken over this role. He's the RB3 right now. He has 3 touchdowns on the year. It's like, maybe Javonte wasn't as bad as we thought. Are you buying into him being a top 15-ish type running back the rest of the way, or do you think he falls off at some point?
No, I think you're looking at the usage outside of an injury, it's pretty hard to see him not, unless he, maybe mid-season kind of hits this wall and just isn't doing anything, and they decide, hey, maybe we've got to switch stuff up. But I mean, right now it's like he'll be one of those guys that I look back on. It's like I should have been higher. I thought he was toast. Like the way he looked in Denver was horrible behind a good offensive line, but he's been playing. He's going to be like J.K. Dobbins this year for me.
Yes,
where it's like I understood the process. I just got the wrong guy. Like that's just how it goes sometimes. You understand, you need to be drafting this backfield. And this is one of the backfields I talked about all the time. Like, I don't care who it is. Draft somebody in this backfield. And I drafted the wrong guy. And that's just how it goes.
It happens. It's part of fantasy. We don't hit on every single – you're not supposed to hit on every single player. Yeah. There's nobody that did, because if you hit on every single player, you'd be a fucking wizard. You'd be a time traveler. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's part of the game, and being able to, like, take that emotion out of it of I missed a player, I started the wrong player. Javonte was on a lot of benches week 1 and may have even been on some benches week 2. I don't know that he was, but if you decided to bench him week 2, this is a guy you want in your starting lineup. He's a top 25 guy at least moving forward. And the only concern I have with Javonte is that if at some point, like Miles Sanders has looked decent, and I don't want to say like he would overtake the role, I could see Miles Sanders taking up some snaps, especially if he gets banged up, an ankle. We know Javonte's been, injured in the past. I don't think I'm not saying he gets hurt or anything, but what I want to say is like, I think Miles has played well in the snaps that he's shown, and it shows that they're willing to use him as well. So I don't want to just discount what Miles Sanders is doing. But Javonte, right now, if I had to rank him, he's inside my top 20 most weeks.
Oh, easily. I'd say
probably
top 15.
I got to be honest. What about Chuba Hubbard? We drafted him outside the top 15 running backs. And, this Carolina offense, for what it is, been up and down, but he's been consistent. He's getting receiving work. He's got 30 yards in both weeks. How do you feel about Chuba Hubbard? Do you think he's a top 20? I mean, he had a really strong finish the year last year outside of the injury. Is he a top 10 running back moving forward?
Well, I'd say more. I still think he's more of a high-end RB2 than an absolute RB1. Just because the problem is, I don't think you can say Carolina looked good last week, but it was like one of those situations where, my God, the whole second half they're throwing the ball. They were getting beat up in the first half. They did not look good. Like, this was a score that was much closer than what it should be. Arizona should have put them away much earlier in that game for that game to be so close. So maybe this is a spark, though. It could be a spark where it's like, okay, we got, we look good. We finished the game strong. We didn't quit. Like, maybe they build upon this, or they just go back to looking at first half, because if they do, like, I just think this offense is, oh man, it's not going to be very good this year.
I think the one thing that surprised me with Chuba Hubbard is that we're seeing him being used like in the receiving game.
He's a workhorse.
The correlation with that is that they're down in football games. Carolina is playing from behind. So I think that will be the case, and that actually would be good for his value, I think, if Carolina isn't making that leap that everybody expected them to make. The problem, I would say, is that if they get in a more competitive game, it feels like the balance will kind of even out, and this just isn't a good offense. So I would want to see them playing from behind where they have to score more points to try to catch up, so he's getting dump-offs and getting checkdowns. But outside of that, this could be like a 60-yard touchdown-dependent type player if he's not catching passes, and this team isn't going to score a bunch of touchdowns. That's the one concern I have with Chuba Hubbard. He'd be a sell-high guy for me. I'm not buying that he's a top 10 guy, more high-end RB2 like you said. Travis Etienne. Probably the fun name we're going to talk about here. Travis Etienne, RB9 right now. And we drafted him outside of the top 25 running backs. And, there was talks about him and Tank Bigsby splitting work. Tank Bigsby's gone. And now we have Bashal Tutin in the backfield. LaQuint Allen played a little snaps on week 1, was invisible last week. Bashal Tutin's the guy to back up Travis Etienne. Where are you at with Etienne? Do you think he's back to being a top 15 running back weekly, or do you think that Bashal Tutin's eventually going to take over at some point?
No, it's not that. Listen, you won't find a bigger Travis Etienne truther than me. I love Travis Etienne.
I don't know.
I have 30. He's my highest drafted player on Underdog. I have like 35% roster percentage for ETN. The one thing that I'll say with ETN is, and this is my like Bayshall Tootin, is we saw last year Liam Cohen produce 2 top 20 running backs. And it's not that I don't think ETN will be good. I like ETN's been fantastic. He looks good in this offense. But I also think that this will be just a 2-back offense where both these guys can be good. That's why I'm saying like I be buying Bayshall Tootin because number one, I think he looked really good this past weekend, and they clearly want him to get more involved. That's why they shipped out Tank Bigsby. So they want to get him more involved in this offense. I think it's going to be a 2-back approach. And I think that will just be good for this offense too, because I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's Trevor. I don't know if it's Brian Thomas Jr. It's just this offense. And maybe it's just, first 2 weeks of the season. It's just this passing offense hasn't fully taken that step that we really thought it could with like Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr. under center, where maybe it's just more they lean into the running backs who are both really good running backs. So I think I wouldn't be selling Travis Etienne. I'd be holding him. I think he has the ability to be a back in RB1 all season long, but I would be buying into Bayshall Tune for being a guy that I can also see being a potential top 20 back, because that's what Liam Cohen did last year.
I'm not as optimistic on Tootin as you are. We've had these conversations. I think Travis Etienne is the guy, though. Like, you talk about a top 15 back rest of the way, top 12-ish type back. I'm there with Etienne. I think that was a player, especially once Bigsby got traded, things probably already were changed, but they changed for good now. So I think we have Travis Etienne. If you have him, he's not a guy that you're like, oh, I need to sell him and go buy in on Chase Brown. I think they're going to be similar type talents the rest of the way. So I wouldn't be moving pieces like that. You talk about Tootin. I don't want to go too far into Tootin, no pun intended, but like I think Bayshall Tootin's one of those guys. He's going to be a tough player to trust on a weekly basis unless he's a starter. So I know you say you have him, you think he'd be top 20 guy. For me, the problem that I see with that is he's a bench. Like, he's not anybody that I want to put as a flex option any given week. So that's where I'm at with him.
I'm telling you, if there's one player to buy, I'd be buying, like, absolutely be buying him, because I don't think the price is right yet.
Yeah, there you go.
Tucker Kraft holding.
Yeah, what about the top 2 tight ends?
You're holding them. Like, who else are you going to get?
You have to. Tucker Kraft, Jawan Johnson.
It's disgusting right now. There's no way outside of like obviously Brock Bowers. Like, it's unfortunate that he got a bit banged up. I think he'll be fine as the season progresses, hopefully. Trey
Bowers, Trey McBride, Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Those 3. And Kittle, I think Kittle.
Yeah, once Kittle comes back,
Kittle go get him. But
yeah, like once Kittle comes back, and then you'll have Brock Bowers probably return at the same time. Like, I'd be obviously all in on Kittle, but yeah, I mean, like the one thing with, once again, like I said with Jawan Johnson, is just as long as he stays in this role, I really think he's going to be this year's like Jonnu Smith, the guy that kind of came out of nowhere because, hey, maybe this guy like isn't that bad, and they did give him an extension, and he just needed, because the biggest problem with Juwan Johnson in the past was he just was never playing the snaps. It was like he was a 50% snap share. Yeah, so like as long the only hope is, or not hope, just the only problem is like that doesn't happen. But I don't see why you would go back to that when he's producing like he is.
So the problem that I have, well, there's no problem with Jawan Johnson. I like Jawan Johnson. I talked about in this offseason as somebody I thought could have a bigger role, especially with no Taysom Hill. But the one thing I'll say is, like, where do you rank him? Like, I think for sure he's got to be in the top 12 rest of the way. I just don't know if I want to put him top 10. The problem is, we talked about, there's nobody else there.
You have to, like, if it's not even just one problem is that, especially for the tight end position, it's so disgusting. But when he is seeing the use, like when he's seeing the yards, it's not just like fluky. He has a touchdown catch here or there. Like, he's seeing the targets, he's seeing the yards. But once again, it's like he's playing the most snaps out of all the tight ends in the league. Yeah. Like, that is the thing. And he's running the routes. Mm-hmm. And this team isn't good. They're going to throw the ball a lot because they're just not very good. So I think that he's got to be a top 10. I'd take him over. This might sound crazy, but I'd take him over Travis Kelce.
I knew it. See, this is where we're going to go. And I'm not mad at that take. I don't know if I'm fully bought in yet, but I'm not mad at this take.
I will say that once again, the biggest hiccup is just if these guys come back and they're healthy and it does affect his playing time, then it's really going to hurt him. But if the playing time stays the same, I really think Juwan Johnson will finish as a top 10. At the very least, top 10. I think he could be top 5.
It's funny because everybody was, last week it was pick up Harold Fannin or Juwan Johnson. I was like, to me, it was very clear Juwan Johnson was there. Like Harold Fannin, you're still a backup tight end. You're still fighting for roles. So I think when it comes to like the tight end position, the big, let's ask this one: Juwan Johnson or Tucker Kraft?
I'd rather have Tucker, especially now with Jaden Reed. The Jaden Reed's injury is significant.
Yeah. I still rather have Juwan Johnson. I think Juwan Johnson could be there. I think Tucker
Juwan Johnson has the role. Like Juwan Johnson's going to be kind of like Evan Ingram was in Jacksonville that one year when he was like the tight end 2 because he just had so much volume. That's going to be like Juwan Johnson this year.
And the thing is, he has the touchdown upside because of the size too.
And I think he's also not bad. Like the one thing with the tight end position is these guys take a long time to really break out. And it's maybe Juwan Johnson has been pretty decent because he just hasn't had the full opportunity. Now that he has the full opportunity and it's like everybody's like he has the role, maybe he's actually not bad. He's pretty good. Like
it's funny. I've been a big Juwan Johnson guy over the years, like always kind of recommending him in the middle of the season at some point.
I didn't like him just because
the staying power is there this year.
Yeah, if he sees the usage, I don't see how he doesn't finish.
Last one I got. Juwan Johnson, Tucker Kraft, Kyle Pitts. Rank them. Rest of the year.
I would still go with Tucker Kraft. Juwan Johnson, Kyle Pitts. Now, once again, I wouldn't even be mad taking Juwan Johnson over Tucker Kraft as long as if you told me today, like those other guys won't be a factor, I probably would. But I'd still go with Tucker Kraft because Tucker Kraft did look really good. He looks like a stud.
I think Kyle Pitts. I still got Kyle Pitts over him though. I like Tucker Kraft. I think Kyle Pitts is making a resurgence, but we'll talk about him another day. That doesn't.
One other thing.
Go ahead.
A couple real quick. You're dropping Caleb Johnson?
Been gone. I never drafted him. Been gone. Been gone, bro. The ball, you're not even earning reps on special teams. Get him out of here, bro.
Yeah, like he's not even earning. He's 70% rostered.
Off. Gotta go. That number needs to be under 30%.
Another guy I was looking at, Brandon Allen.
Gotta go.
Get rid of him.
He's not part of the offense.
Also like
isn't good. Get him out of here. Pack him up. He's gone.
Tank Bigsby.
Pack him up. Gone.
58% gone. What about Rashid Shaheed?
I think he's so the problem with Rashid Shaheed is that he's too tough to trust on a weekly basis. Juwan Johnson is the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 on the team, however you want to put it. Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara.
It's not Rashid good enough Shaheed. To support. Yeah, like that's why
it sucks. It sucks because he caught the touchdown, so he's the player that you never want to start, but you're always scared to bench.
Exactly, and I just the other problem is there's nobody good on waivers really. Like I guess the question would be, would you rather take the upside shot in Troy Franklin or have Rashid Shaheed?
I just don't. The problem with Shaheed is that I never would want to start him, but I wouldn't want to just drop him. I would whatever trade if I have Rashid Shaheed,
just like
whatever trade I'm throwing him in the deal. Just sweeten him. Every single deal I have.
So you'd rather have him over Troy Franklin?
I'd rather have Shaheed over Troy Franklin.
I think I'd probably just take the shot because I don't think I would miss Shaheed. That's the problem.
Yeah, but
I think the only thing
I'm not gonna miss Troy Franklin if I'm being honest.
No, but I think that like what happens if Troy Franklin actually is the wide receiver 1 here? Like, what if that happens? I don't think that will happen with Shaheed unless I will say another thing. Chris Olave, he could get hurt.
We saw week 1 get into the medical tent.
And then the other ones are like you're dropping obviously Joe Burrow, right? You're not even smashing him into IR.
I wouldn't even IR him. Yeah.
McCarthy.
McCarthy could in a single QB league, drop McCarthy.
Just get rid of him. And then Jaden Reed.
I would hold on IR if I could.
If you can. Okay. That's what I thought.
And if I had the thing is you hold him on IR, but if I already had say I had Godwin and another player or Ayuk and another player, if I already had that spot and I needed it, there's only 2 IR spots, or if I only had 1 IR spot, gone.
You gotta get rid of him, right? That's what I was looking at.
I think he's a top 35-ish receiver when he's healthy.
Yeah. But you're not
and that's the
obviously dropping gold.
That's the thing with Tucker Kraft we need to talk about too. You might have Kraft for 6 to 8 weeks, but Jaden Reed will come back at some point this year.
Yeah, that's true.